goes the dynamite, guys. Welcome to episode 8 of History of Digimon Digital Monsters Season 1. This will be about episode 7.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon into champions. Digimon into ultimate. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon.
Okay, at the start of this episode, Gomamon is telling Joe, he's like, I know this is no day at the beach, Joe, but that's no reason to worry about and make all your friends unhappy. Pardon the pun, but chill out. Even you have a problem with the cold, right, guys? And then Gomamon's like, hey, everybody, think warm. And then what happens is, then Joe's like,
come on, get serious. It'd be horrible if it started snowing right now.
Lighten up a little, Joe. We're just trying to look on the positive side of things.
Bleh.
Hey, Ty, when's it gonna snow?
Probably any second now.
Right on Joe's head.
That'd be so funny!
I can't wait to see his face.
You know, if the temperature drops any lower than it is already, we won't be able to camp out anymore. We'll be frozen Digitreats. That's right. Go ahead and laugh. But when your Tootsies freeze, don't go crying to me. I'll just say I told you so. It is always better to be safe than sorry. Think first.
What's that white stuff?
It's a field of snow. There's bound to be a ski resort nearby.
Oh, man. This is much worse than even I thought it was.
What now, guys?
I think we should keep going. We're not going to get anywhere just sitting here.
If we walk across the field in our sneakers, our toes will go numb.
It's impossible to continue.
So what are we supposed to do? Just stand here like a bunch of dorks? We either go across the field or climb up that big mountain.
He looks over into the direction where TK's pointing, and he's like, tell me I'm not imagining this. And then Ty's excited because there's a fridge, and then Joe's complaining. He's like, oh, come on, that's ridiculous. What would a refrigerator be doing way out here? And then what happens after that is they open it, and they find some eggs in there, and then Joe's complaining again. He's like, wait a minute, you shouldn't even touch them. We don't even know if they're fit for human consumption. And then what happens after that is Ty makes a little joke. He's like, then I'll be the guinea pig. If I turn purple, you'll know they're not edible. And this is specifically important for Joe's character in the fact that, as I stated with his character bio, he tries to take care of the group a lot in the digital world. How I get that out of the way. And what happens after that is Matt's telling Joe that unless they're into eating rocks, they don't have too much choice. And
I'm sure they'd say yes if they knew we were in trouble.
Exactly. We'd tell them it's an emergency situation.
Rationalize away.
Sunny side up eggs are my specialty.
They're done. I can't wait.
Hey, come on, man. How are those chopsticks coming?
Hurry, we want to eat.
Sorry, this just makes me feel uncomfortable. We'd be in big trouble if someone got sick. No doctors, you know. Why do I always have to be the one to think about these things?
Tray gourmet. It's your turn next time. Go on, dig in.
Oh, yeah. I haven't had a meal like this in a long time. My stomach's chiming.
If we had some ketchup to go with this, it would be perfect.
I love ketchup and eggs.
That sounds pretty gross to me.
What's the matter, Joe? You haven't eaten anything.
Huh? Oh, I was just thinking that if we were able to go home, ketchup wouldn't be a problem. Oh, well.
This episode is actually the second episode where they're getting a little homesick, because this episode takes place 4 days after the events of my other ones. And then later on, Ty and Matt, they get into a little argument about whether or not to climb Infinity Mountain.
Why are you making such a big deal out of this?
Because it's way too dangerous.
There's no place else to go. We have no choice.
Look, before we do something foolish, we should think it over a little more.
You're just a big old chicken.
Hey,
That's
everybody,
what
what's
you
all the
are.
ruckus about?
I
Why are
am
Matt and
not.
Ty fighting?
You are too.
They're debating about whether or not we should climb Infinity Mountain, which is way up over there.
That's practically up to the sky.
Infinity Mountain's a doozy, that's for sure.
It's the perfect spot. We gotta climb up there. It's the best view of the island.
You've got to admit, he's got a point there.
That's not how Matt sees it.
Nobody would make it up that peak. It's much too big of a gamble.
He might be right, Joe. There could be lots of evil Digimon up that peak.
That's not good. That wouldn't be worth the risk.
Come on, Matt. Don't be a wimp. We won't get anywhere if we just stand around talking.
Put your fist down when you talk to me and stop acting like you can just bully your way into being the leader.
What are you saying?
And then Joe intervenes in it, and he's like,
Knock it off, you guys. Chill out. Now look here. Calm down. Let's be sensible.
So what's your opinion about this, Joe?
Huh?
Yeah, Joe, tell us who's right, me or Matt?
Well, I think Ty's right about going up that peak. If we went up there, we'd be able to see the landscape of the island a lot better.
See, Matt?
Hold on. Matt brought up a real good point about the danger. It'd be kind of dumb to lead everybody up to a place we don't know anything about. It wouldn't be safe.
Come on, let's go as far as we can up the mountain.
That's stupid. We can't protect ourselves out there.
Stop it now. You're both making me a nervous wreck. Just give me a chance to think. Don't be difficult.
What? You are the most difficult person I ever met.
Hey, I am trying to make a decision here, so don't interrupt me.
You're just a big old chicken, Matt.
Ty, you better take that back.
Enough already! You're giving me a headache!
You three! Now grow up. We have to decide what to do. Besides, it's gonna get dark soon.
I think we ought to get a little shut-eye.
There will be plenty of time to argue later.
First of all, we need to find a good place to sleep. Let's head for the caves.
We'll stay warm in there.
well, now this is the second minor argument that they have. The next one they'll have is kind of a major one. Just give you guys a little heads up on that. And then in the next scene, they're all in the caves for the night. They're sleeping. And then Joe's thinking to himself, somebody's gonna get hurt if I don't do something fast. But how? I couldn't even stop the fight. Instead, I got involved myself. That wasn't too smart. If I'm responsible for everyone's safety, then I've got to protect them. Their lives depend on me. And just as a quick heads up, this is actually the 4th episode of the Black Gear saga. Then Joe decides that he should climb the mountain, and then Gomamon sees him, and then Joe is telling Gomamon to go to sleep, but then he starts following him, and then he says that he's not going with him, so he has to quit following him around. And what happens after that is Gomamon's explaining that he's not, because he's had some business to take care of up in the mountain, and everything doesn't revolve around Joe and stuff. And then what happens is that when they're walking, Gomamon's like, sometimes I just gotta trick him. And then Joe's like, did you say something? And then Gomamon's like, yeah, nice night for a walk. And now, while they're climbing the mountain, and later on they come across a Unimon, which is basically a winged horse, like a unicorn.
That's not your everyday kind of flying horse, Joe. That's Unimon. He's a wise old Digimon. I never knew he lived in these mountains. He's not much of a talker.
And then after that, a black gear gets stuck into Unimon's back later. And then what happens is, in the next scene, it's morning. And what happens is Sora's wondering where Joe is and stuff. And then she sees that he wrote a note on the ground. She's like, it says, and then she's like, he wouldn't be climbing that mountain by himself, would he? And then she's hysterical. She's like, everybody wake up, we got an emergency. And then Unimon is attacking Joe and Gomamon. He's like, having a good time, dear guest. I'm in a mood for a game of aerial attack. So he uses his attack that he shoots out of his mouth. Now, I don't want to talk that much about Season 2, but I'll give you guys a quick little heads up on that. In Season 2, the attack is called Horn Blaster. Okay, so basically what happens is Joe's asking Gomamon to do something, and he's wondering what it is. Then Unimon flies back to where they are, and he's asking them if they're thinking of leaving. And then they look over to the area, and then he makes a little joke. He's like, that's a perfectly safe route if you're thinking of flying away. And then what happens is, after that, he tries to use his aerial attack again, but then Bergermon tackles him into the mountaintop. And then what happens after that is Joe is surprised to see them, and then Ty and Sora are running to where he is, and then
We need some help.
Aerial attack!
Gomamon!
We've come to save you.
Just in time, I'd say.
Are you all right?
Aerial attack!
Unimon!
Well? Agumon, Digiball into... Raymon, are you gonna be alright?
He gets tackled in. Greymon gets tackled into the side of the mountain, and now this is gonna sound kind of funny to you guys, but when Ty asks Greymon he's low right, he's like, "I'm styling, dude."
I'm styling, dude. What? Nova Blast!
Greymon and Ty are in big trouble. Oh no, he's going after Sora.
What do we have here? Another uninvited guest?
Meteor Wing!
Then Bergermon tries to use her Meteor Wing attack, but then she gets tackled into the ground. And then Joe recognizes the gear, so he jumps off the side of the mountain he's on, and he climbs onto Unimon, and then...
The gear! I'll get it.
Huh?
This is crazy! Come on now.
Hang on!
Oh no, it won't budge.
Joe, stop! Don't try to be a hero!
I know, but I just have to do this one thing. I'm not gonna stop until it's done. I have to think positive. I'm responsible. I've got to do it.
Then it goes back to the scene where they're digivolving again, and Gomamon digivolves to a Kakumon, catches Joe, and then tackles Unimon. Then Unimon uses his aerial attack, and then Ikakumon uses his harpoon torpedo attack, which is basically he shoots his horn, and then the horn part of it dissolves, and then out comes a missile, and it destroys the black gear, and then
The black gear just dissolved. Yeah, you saved the day.
Unimon flies away, and then Joe's like, "The black gear just dissolved. Yeah, you saved the day." And then Greymon is asking Ty if he didn't shake him so much, and he's wondering if it's okay, if he's okay and stuff. And then before the scene ends, Joe's like, "Good job. That's what I call pulling it together." And in the next scene, Ty's explaining that Joe's a pretty cool dude after all, and then Sora is explaining that he was so awesome that it made it possible for Gomamon to digivolve, and then Gomamon's being a little sarcastic in his next sentence. He's like, "That's not why I did it. It's just because I'm a nice guy, and besides, Joe would have fallen on his head." And then after that, they start climbing, and then Joe, like, they see that there's not much out there, and then Joe says one more thing before the episode ends. He's like, "So Gomamon and I climbed all the way to the top to see what was there, and we found, well, nothing. But I think we discovered quite a bit on the way up," and that is basically where the episode ends after that. So if you guys like this video on YouTube, just give it the best you can, and I'll see you guys next time. Till then, keep it digital.
I wish we could talk about something other than egg recipes.